I'm thirsty. More succinctly, in the old translations, I thirst. I thirst. John suggests that Jesus says this to fulfill prophecy. Maybe so, but surely, hanging on the cross in the noonday sun, blood dripping from hands and feet, Jesus must have been literally thirsty, proving once more that he wasn't just a pretend human being, but the real thing, someone like us with physical needs, someone who could feel pain and hunger and thirst. I thirst. Me too, Jesus. I thirst not for water this time, but for so many other things. I thirst for security, for the sense that the world will go on as it has done in its humdrum, dependable way, not turn upside down as it appears to be doing right now. I thirst for human companionship in person, human touch. I thirst for walks downtown on a busy street, where the doors of restaurants are open, inviting me in for a plate of spaghetti and a glass of wine and a table to share with a friend. I have the food and drink at home. I'm one of the lucky ones in that regard, but not the people. Just as important, not the freedom. I thirst. And oh, Jesus, I thirst for the presence of the people of God. For listening to friends read the scriptures or the homilist illuminate them for me. I thirst for the passing of the peace, even for the homely chaos of it. On top of that, Jesus, I miss sharing your body and blood in the sacrament of the Eucharist. Your body broken on Calvary, your blood staining the wood of the cross, dripping to the ground next to your mother and your best friend, who stood there helpless beside you. But for all of us ever since, your body which sustains us, your blood poured out for us, a graphic manifestation of the ever-flowing love of God. My friends out there in cyberspace, for what do you thirst? Perhaps you thirst in some of the ways I've mentioned. The circumstances of your life may be quite different from mine, and so you have other thirsts, and you're calling them to mind right now. No words of mine can make up for the lacks you may feel. But perhaps Jesus' last words offer some comfort. For me, knowing that he experienced the same feelings of deprivation and abandonment that I feel makes a difference. It doesn't cancel those feelings out, but it does assure me that no matter how physically isolated I may be, I am not alone. That no matter what calamities may befall me or even the world, the universe has a loving, self-giving heart, a heart which is revealed to us in our friend and brother hanging there on the cross. Hard to remember sometimes, for sure, but I do believe that. The late Mary Oliver is best known for her poems based on close observations of the natural world and its creatures. Several years ago, however, she published a book of poems which reflect her recent discovery of faith and the church. The last piece in the book, from which the book gets its title, is called Thirst. Although she doesn't name them, the poet is really expressing her thirst for things she has mentioned in the poems that precede this one. Things like the presence of God and the love of Christ and the Eucharist, things she didn't ever experience before. I, on the other hand, am familiar with those things, and am only now discovering what it's like to thirst for them. And in that discovery, there may be some blessing. I know in a new way what is really important to me. Like the poet, I'm letting go of some of the rest, giving away, she calls it, things I thought I needed. And I resolve to find new ways to quench my thirst for the important things. Ways like finding God even in the sight of an empty beach. Ways of taking communion by hearing God's word and praying together with all who listen and pray with me, sight unseen. My hope is that you who listen now are finding some similar blessing in this difficult time. For closing prayer, I offer Mary Oliver's Thirst. In form, it's what's called a prose poem, but really, it's a prayer. And here it is. Thirst by Mary Oliver. Another morning, and I wake with thirst for the goodness I do not have. I walk out to the pond, and all the way God has given us such beautiful lessons. O Lord, I was never a quick scholar, but sulked and hunched over my books past the hour and the bell. Grant me in your mercy a little more time. Love for the earth and love for you are having such a long conversation in my heart. Who knows what will finally happen or where I will be sent? Yet already I have given a great many things away, expecting to be told to pack nothing except the prayers which, with this thirst, I am slowly learning.